On the night of December 15th, 2020, a quiet town in southern France became the center of one of the country's most mysterious disappearance cases. A 33-year-old mother named Delphine Jubillar went missing from her home in Cagnac-les-Mines, leaving behind her two young children, her family, and a trail of unanswered questions. There was no confirmed sighting of her leaving, no clear evidence showing where she went, and no explanation for how a normal night turned into a mystery that would capture national attention. What happened to Delphine Jubillar? Was she the victim of a crime? Did someone close to her know more than they revealed? Or was there another explanation hidden somewhere inside the final hours before she disappeared? This is the story of the disappearance of Delphine Jubillar.
Disclaimer double: this documentary is based on publicly available information, official statements, and reputable news sources. It is intended for informational purposes only. Any allegations discussed are presented as part of the investigation and are not stated as proven facts unless established through legal proceedings.
Before she became the center of a national investigation, Delphine Jubillar was living an ordinary life. She was a nurse living in Cagnac-les-Mines, a small community in the Tarn region of France. She was married to Cedric Jubillar, a painter and construction worker, and together they had two children. To neighbors and people who knew her, Delphine was described as someone focused on her family and her work. But behind the normal appearance of family life, there were signs that the marriage between Delphine and Cedric had become complicated. Around the time of her disappearance, the couple was reportedly going through a separation. Delphine had started a new relationship, and according to reports, she was preparing for a new chapter in her life. But before that new life could begin, she vanished. On the evening of December 15th, 2020, Delphine spent time at home with her family. Later that night, she communicated with people through her phone. According to investigators, her phone activity showed messages and online activity during the evening. At some point during the night, something changed. Delphine was no longer responding. Her phone was later found inside the house. Her belongings were still there, and her disappearance appeared sudden. The next morning, Cedric reported that Delphine was missing. A woman had disappeared from her own home during the night. And investigators immediately began asking one important question: what happened inside that house? When Delphine disappeared, authorities launched a major search operation. Police officers, volunteers, and investigators searched the surrounding areas. The community joined together, hoping she would be found alive. Search teams examined fields, roads, and nearby locations. Dogs were used. Investigators collected information from witnesses. Every detail mattered. A missing person case often depends on small pieces of information: a movement, a message, a camera recording, a person who noticed something unusual. But as days passed, Delphine remained missing, and the mystery only grew deeper. As investigators looked deeper into Delphine's life, attention turned toward her relationship with Cedric. The couple's separation became an important part of the investigation. Reports described tension between them during the period before Delphine disappeared. Investigators examined conversations, behavior, and events leading up to that night. Cedric stated that he had nothing to do with Delphine's disappearance. He maintained his innocence. But because Delphine disappeared from the family home, investigators focused heavily on the people closest to her. In missing person investigations, the closest relationships are often examined first. Not because they prove guilt, but because investigators must understand every possible scenario. Months after Delphine disappeared, investigators made a major development. Cedric Jubillar was arrested and placed under investigation. Prosecutors suspected that Delphine had been killed, although her body had not been found. The case became one of France's most followed criminal investigations. The lack of a body created a major challenge. Without finding Delphine, investigators had to build a case through other evidence statements, digital information, witness accounts, and events surrounding the disappearance. Cagnac Jubillar continued to deny involvement. The case became a battle between investigators who believed they had uncovered enough evidence and a defense team arguing that the evidence was not enough. One of the most haunting parts of the Delphine Jubillar case is that her remains have never been found. For investigators, finding the missing person is often the key to understanding what happened. But without that discovery, many questions remain unanswered. Where did Delphine go? What happened after she disappeared? And will investigators ever uncover the full truth? The absence of answers has kept the case alive in public memory. For Delphine's family, the disappearance represents years of uncertainty. A person missing is not just a mystery. It is a family waiting for answers. The Delphine Jubillar case remains one of France's most discussed disappearances. It contains many elements that make a case unforgettable: a missing mother, a quiet community, a family tragedy, a complicated investigation, and unanswered questions. The legal process continues to examine the evidence and determine what happened. But one question remains at the center of everything: where is Delphine Jubillar? Until that question is answered, the mystery remains. Every missing person has a story. Behind every investigation is a family waiting. And behind every unanswered question is the hope that someday the truth will finally come out. This was the disappearance of Delphine Jubillar. Like and subscribe for more true crime documentaries.